Ah, welcome traveler. Come in, take a seat and put up your feet. Today, we're diving into a game called Dawn of Man, a prehistoric city building survival game where we will be cooking up some roleplay to enhance the gameplay. This is part 12 in our multi-part series, and if you'd like to see more of this, please like, subscribe, and drop a comment down below. Let's get cooking. In the previous episode, we'd made quite a few adjustments to our settlement, and between episodes, we'd also made some changes. So we're just quickly going to go over some of these and familiarize ourselves with it. So in the previous episode, the first thing we did was we advanced into the next age, the Bronze Age. Then we spent some time coming over here and expanding our farmlands. We also went ahead and developed the plow and got horse domestication. So now it is much easier for our people to actually come in and plant all of the different crops that we need during the seasons that they're able to do so. What we did between episodes was we went further with the upgrade system. We had unlocked access to better housing and better storage facilities and had upgraded a few of them last episode. But between the two episodes, we went ahead and finished upgrading all of our houses, all of our storage facilities, and all of our walls. We've taken them up to the next tier, so from wood all the way through to stone, and we went ahead and did some small adjustments here and there as well. We added in a wall over here, separating our religious sector from the housing sector. We went over here and built a wall around these crops as well, these fruit trees over here, just to protect it a little bit better if there was to be a raider attack. We also went and replaced all of the walls around our farms with stone walls, as well as expanded it a little bit here and a little bit down here, all the way down to the river itself, and removed the wall itself that was between our two compounds. We also went ahead and built a wall around what will eventually be our graveyard area, and also did the same here with this side of the river, building the wall down all the way to the water. This just creates a better unification between the two sides, as I felt that the wall going between them, here and here, really separated it. And now it just feels like it's meshing better together. It's also a lot easier now to actually see what is our fruit trees. As you can see, all of these here. There are a couple of other trees here and there. Some birch. I think this is also birch. And I think, yes, and that's a beech tree. And oak. So there are still a few little, just normal lumber trees. But for the majority, all of those trees inside of our compounds, or inside the walls, are actually trees that will give us some use. Fruit trees and so forth that can be harvested for food. We also went ahead and expanded a little bit over here. Put in an additional warehouse, a granary, cheese makers, just to get that food production up and going. As you can see here, if we come here to our group resources, we can actually have a look. We have quite a lot of food at the moment, which is fantastic because we're going to need it to maintain our growing and ever expanding population. Now, there are a few things that we have to look at in today's episode, and we're going to dive right into that. First things first, we had already gone and created the facilities for us to smelt bronze. So to take copper and tin and to create the alloy of bronze. But we hadn't actually done anything with this new metal yet. And that's something we're going to look at doing in today's episode. We're going to unlock sword making, the composite archery, shield making, armor, and netting. We'll leave the other two upgrades for later in this episode, but let's just first focus on these. So what fishing nets does is it gives us access to fish traps, which will greatly boost our fishing capabilities. We can just come through to here and just click the fishing nets over here to be generated automatically. We're also going to disable the bows being made and make it strictly to composite bows, because composite bows are much more powerful. We'll also come in here for our old crafters and just disable this. We won't need that anymore, but we will need the composite bows. What we can also do here as well is go to manage, go to our limits, and just double check that we are actually having this set correctly. So this is all the bows. I think that also includes composite bows as far as I know. And with it being disabled in these crafters now, our people should be making a lot of composite bows for us. Now, what else are we looking at? Well, we've got our sword making to dive into, shield making, and armor making. And for that, we are going to have to look at setting up some specific buildings that focus on these. Let's go through to production, and we'll set up an armorer. Now, where do I want to build this? I think I'm going to try squeeze one in here. So one over there, and I think another one over here next to these. Because these are our metalsmiths. So as you can see, here we can activate weapons to be made. And then our armorers will be built up and we can start equipping our people with proper defenses. So we're going to let this quickly construct and then we'll be right back once our two buildings are up and running. All we're going to do is just come in, set them to a higher priority as our workload can handle it.
In the dawn when fire spoke, under sky with stars unbroke, they hammered dreams in metal's gleam, shields to guard and swords to choke. Minds like flint struck with light, bronze was born in ancient night. From the earth they drew their might to defend the wood and fight. Echoes of our fathers' calls, bronze against the ancient thralls, through the valleys, through the halls, underneath the waterfall. Hands were rough like wild trees, shaped the shields with alchemy, heat of flame and bone decree, to protect, to stand, to be. Drumming hearts like pounding stone, bronze was real, no longer lone, in the hands of those alone.
And there we go, our two armorers are constructed. And we can just go in here, right click the shields and the armor itself. So this will create round shields and leather armor. And we'll just make sure that in our managing, in our limits, we can just make sure that this is set to enough. So what we want is we want 100A, which means 100% of all adults will have enough of this item for them. We're not so worried about over here the slings. We can probably set this to about 30. But for the most part, we don't really use slings anymore. And over here, we'll set this to 125% A. The reason for this is we want a little bit of extra armor, same with the clothes, so that there's always more than our population, so that when it becomes damaged and destroyed, it's easily replaceable, and we're not having people sitting and waiting for a replacement to be created. I'm not so worried about the shields in that regard, as not everybody will have a shield equipped, but I do want everyone to have leather armor equipped. Right, so with that all set up, I think that we have quite a strong production area over here, and hopefully this will start producing everything that we're going to be needing for our thriving community. Now next up, we're going to have a look at brewing. So this does require the rye domestication, and we're going to have a look at this. So where is brewing? It should be here in production. There we go. And here is a brewery, and we're going to come in and set one up, I think over here, or let's have a look. Actually, I think let's build one. Let's build them over here. Let's build quite a few here. We can maybe set up 2. Yes, we should be able to set up 2 over here. So it's 1, 2, and we'll keep this tree because it might look quite nice in front of it. We'll let things run and we'll be right back once these 2 buildings are constructed. Let's just set them to a higher priority and we'll let things run.
In the shadow of ancient trees, beating drums by the light of dawn, found the fruits that fell like leaves beneath the sky where heavens yawn. Water and fruit in earth apart, time danced slow, the sun stood high. Dreams began with the humble thought of fermented drink reaching the sky. Clans gathered, whispers low, fire's warmth and tales of old. Liquid gold began to flow in caves where stories were told. Water and fruit in earth and pot, time danced slow, the sun stood high. Dreams began with the humble thought of fermented drink reaching the sky.
And there we go. Our 2 breweries are constructed, and all we need to do here is just come in, right click the beer, and this will just keep generating beer for us, which our people can then use to celebrate, get a little bit of leisure time, blow off some steam, and overall increase happiness. Something else we're going to also just mention here is that when you unlock the swords, so you'll see over here you unlock sword making, you don't actually need a separate building for that. You just come over through to your metalsmith, it's already here, so you don't need to actually construct anything for that. It's just for the armor and the shields, and then of course the brewing itself. So I'm quite happy with that. I think our settlement is coming along quite nicely. We can actually look at coming in and cleaning up some of these buildings sometime. For example, over here, just cleaning this up, a little bit more order, as well as coming in and taking these 2 crafting buildings, maybe just adjusting their position slightly, moving them, just so we can make better use of the space, and also reallocate perhaps these stockpiles as well, just to make it a little bit neater here, but we'll look at that in the future. For now, we're just going to celebrate having our brewery up, our armor smiths, our armorers, having our swords, and we're going to hopefully start producing quite a few of those. I see we already have 12 swords and 11 shields. We don't have any leather armor yet, but that's not end of the world. There's still plenty of time for them to craft it. And things are looking good here for the River Clan. It looks like it may have been a good idea not to chop this tree down, because it appears that there's actually something stuck here between the branches. Let's check this out quick. Very interesting. So, it seems to me that our people are requesting some form of structure, statue, some improvement to happen here close to their religious center. From what I've seen in the drawing, it looks like it's focused on this area. It seems to match the 2 stone circles, the 4 menhirs in the back. So it looks like they'll want us to construct something here. Well, in order to do that, we will need to go here to the knowledge and unlock stone carving. So what is stone carving? Well, we'll have a look here. It basically just allows us to construct statues. But the cool thing about this is that with these statues, you can actually customize them to a certain extent. Now, not as much customization as what we really want, but there is still a large degree of it, in that you can come in here and actually swap the variant. So if we think back to what that image looked like, it seemed as if there was a male figure here, a female figure here, and then there were 2 additional figures on each side as well. Like that. I believe that that should be accurate to what the drawing wants us to do, and I think that it's still well enough spaced out to still look as if it's going to be fitting in quite nicely there. we may have to just come in and remove this tree once it's grown. It is one of the mechanics I think is quite annoying in that you can actually chop down big trees, but small trees you have to wait for them to grow fully before you can cut them down or remove them. But that is what it is. For the time being, we are going to let our people construct this, and in order to do that we will need to go to our megalith panel, go find some megaliths and see which ones are actually close enough to our settlement to actually be, you know, of proper use. We have a few quite far away. That one's still within view at least. We don't want, ooh, you see like this one, we don't want to make use of these because they are way too far. Whereas something like this, ooh, even this one is a little bit far for us. We might have missed one here at number 3. Yeah, that's also quite far. We'll figure it out. We'll find some nice close megaliths to make use of, and then we'll get our people onto coming up to them, prepping them for transport, essentially putting them on giant sledges and hauling them all the way over back through to our settlement where we can actually make use of them. Right, well, we'll get things rolling here and then hopefully we can get this done really soon.
Across the plains, we move in line. With giant stones, we mark the time. Sweat and strain, we push and pull, guided by the spirit's call. Oh, oh, the land remembers us, binding earth and sky as one. Hearts in rhythm, ancient trust, echoes of the moon and sun. Hands in earth, we carve and shape monuments to gods we've made. Chests will sing our sacred tune beneath the light of crescent moon. Oh, oh, the land remembers us, binding earth and sky as one. Hearts in rhythm, ancient trust, echoes of the moon and sun. Through the ages, stones will stand, guardians of this hallowed land. Their silent strength, our lasting gift. Our spirits rise, our hearts uplift. From dawn to dusk, the work goes on. Each strike a prayer, a sacred song. In the shadows, gods arise, their faces greet the morning skies.
Well, our statues are complete and it's looking really nice. I think that they fit in quite well with the overall layout of our religious sector here. And I quite like the variations in the different statues and the placement that we've gone for. And I think that we've quite successfully completed that request that we found, written down on the skin. And I think our people will be quite happy with this. This is quite nice, I like this. We've achieved quite a lot in today's episode. As you can see here, our composite bows are quite high up. We already have 85 composite bows. We have 22 swords, 56 shields, and 25 leather armor. So we've progressed quite a bit through the technology here, gone all the way through the Bronze Age in today's episode, and we've actually managed to get that industry working nicely, getting weapons, shields, and armor up and running so we can equip all of our people for further attacks against our settlement from raiders. We should be able to defend ourselves quite nicely. Now what I may do between episodes is just go around to every entrance here, for example over here, go to the defensives and just place up a tower like so, just so we can have a little bit of extra defense there. This one is fine as it has 4 towers there watching it. This one is fine, 2 towers. This one will have 2 towers. This one will come to as well. We'll just throw down another tower over here. This one should be okay, but just in case we're also going to place another tower down. Further down and in here we actually have 4 over there, so that's quite secure. But we have no towers over here, so this is definitely a place we need to have a look at. I think let's do that. Right, we'll just let that build between episodes and we'll see what happens. But that's all the time we have for today's episode. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe as that would greatly help the channel. If you'd like to be kept updated as to new videos being released, then please hit that notification bell. If you have any feedback, suggestions or requests, leave a comment down below and let us know. Until next time, this is Roast Temp. Keep cooking.